Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's the Entrepreneurs here, and today what we'll be doing is we'll be continuing our investing with Max series. If you guys have not watched the previous video, I highly suggest you guys go watch that now. As a disclaimer, this is just for educational purposes only, and if you're looking for financial advice, I highly suggest you seek out a registered financial advisor. That makes sense? Let's get started. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here as per usual. Okay, let's get started. Make myself a little bit bigger. This one, whoop, that's too big. Okay, but that's okay. All right, guys, so what we're going to be doing today is we'll be going over the cannabis space as per usual. We'll look at Rep Capital, Lifeis, BLGB, Weed, ACB, and I added Tilray here because Tilray is one of the big guys for the cannabis space, right? So as you can see, Rep Capital just still been on a downtrend. Like what I said in the previous video, that I've created, it's basically the tax selling season, meaning the tax law selling season, where majority of the time when you see like November, December, it tends to go down because people are, selling their shares or their position so that, if they have capital gains, they can offset those capital gains for that loss that they incurred in the stocks that they have in their portfolio. So it's just kind of like rebalancing their portfolio, right? And as you can see here, that the volume, look at this volume on Thursday the 13th, 374. But the ones before that, you're looking at, like, let's say this one here, it is 42K. And even here, look at this one here, it's like November 24th, it was like 1K. That's a ridiculous volume, right? But as you can see here that a lot of the cannabis space have been in the same trend where it's just going to the lower low and lower high, meaning that you can see that it just keeps going down and down. And I think on the December 16th for Rip Capital, it hit its 52-week low. Like, I think it was at 27.5. So you can see at the top there, open at 32 cents, high of 35, then the low of 0.275. And I believe that's the lowest it has ever been, because I don't think it's been anywhere lower than that. Because you can see here on November 28th, the low of that was 28 cents. But yeah, just last trading day, it hit the lowest low, and the volume for on the 16th was 73K, right? So pretty low volume. So we want to make sure that if we see a reversal trend, volume picks up, and if there is good news, and I know people are speculating about the Safe Banking Act that's coming out. They keep saying, oh, maybe next week that it's coming out, but still hasn't progress, right? So that's why you're seeing a lot of red days here. And as you see on the other stocks that I'll be showing you, pretty much the same kind of scenario where it's been going to the lowest low. And if I go to CEO.ca and I look for Rev Capital, you can see that it had a pretty good news. So you can see here, Rev Capital completes final closing on previous announcement ETN transaction, and that was on December 15th. So if I click on this, open in a new tab, this is in my opinion, this seems to be like a big news. So that's why it had volume in this date. So if I go to December 15th, so which was on, so this one was the 13th one, it had 374. So maybe there was a lot of speculation about this trade or this closing of ETN on the, so this was the 13th. Then the 14th, what we got 226K of volume. Then on the 15th, we have 207K volume, right? And this news came out around December 15th, talking about acquisition investment firm with a focus on building lead multi-state platform with one of the strongest portfolio of brands in key strategic US market. Today announced that it has completed the final closing of its previously announced transaction involving Eaton, owner and operator of legally licensed registered organization with cannabis cultivation and manufacturing facilities and retail dispensaries in New York. So this is strictly for New York, and it looks like their flagship is like, I think the with 4 dispensaries, including Manhattan flagship stores and location in the Kingston Syracuse. I don't know if I said that right, and Westchester, and as well as cultivation production in Chestertown. So yeah, so that one is pretty good. So the final closing and tells you all the details of the 42 million in cash and Class A common shares and so forth. So that was the big news on December 15th for Rip Capital. But as you can see, looks like majority of the market didn't like the news because it just keeps on going down and down, and it hit the lower low, right? And this volume started picking up and it's going lower low. So let's see what's gonna happen with our Riv Capital, because it's spiked. As you can see, I guess it won't show us here, but let's say if I go the 5-year time frame, let's see if it'll let me. On the 21st, does it tell you here? So this one here was a high of $1.87. Yeah, it won't tell you here, but basically Rev Capital at the time, because they went to a different exchange, it used to, I think it was at $8 Canadian, $8 something Canadian. But since they went to a different, I guess, exchange from TSE to CSE, now you don't see that historic charting, right, from before. But yeah, like they've been from $9 or $8 or something, close to $9. Then it basically now it's at less than $1, right? So significant drop for Rip Capital. If you were shorting this stock, you probably would have made a lot of money. But if you were long, and the majority of the people are, probably lost a lot of money if they would have cashed out. So we'll see what happens with Rip Capital. But yeah, it doesn't look good. All right, so if I go to Lifeis, as you can see here, let's go to candle day. We'll do 1 year. Then from the 1 year, what we'll see here, so volume still pretty bad as well. So you can see volume's pretty low for Lifeis. You can see on Friday the 16th, it had 124K of volume. Normally before, the volume for Lifeis used to be a million before, when it was bullish, right? But you can see the 15th here, December 15th, 257, here 217. The 14th only had 38K of volume, so it's pretty low volume. But you can see that it's hitting the lower low and lower high, and it's going to another support and resistance, and it's been going down ever since then. So we really need to get, or here's some good news in the space, because it looks like it just keeps going lower low and lower high, right? You can see here that the last trading day is 0.055. So that was the last trading day. So it hit the low of 0.055, right? So that's for Lifeis. And if I go to the news, I believe they had some news here. I can't recall now. Yeah, they were saying Lifeis Micra launches Rescue Rapid Detoxer as part of the expanding product line, and this was also on December 15th. So if I click on this, it said, yeah, this news came on the 15th. A health tech company, and today announced that it's the wellness nutraceutical subsidiary Micra Cellular Science Inc. has launched second consumer product Rescue, and this is the link that you can check it out. So basically, that's what it looks like. It's a pill, but I think so that was on the 15th, the 12th, 15th. I think people were indecisive. Yeah, so you can see here that the candlestick kind of like looks like a cross here, but not a lot of people are thinking, is it a good position to take in now, or can we still wait? You can see it's a green day, but it had the high and low, and you can see that on this day it had a high of 0.65, the low 0.05, and open at 6 cents. So not much gap there, but it is what it is. We want to see the volume pick up, and we haven't seen that yet because of, like what I said, tax selling season, where people are taking the loss, then claiming it, right? So for BLGV, we can see volume sucks as well. You can see from the 15th, the volume was 1K. On the 13th, 3.85. So the volume for BLGV is super low right now, so it doesn't look good. So not a lot of people trading the stocks. So for weed, you can see that it was pretty volatile in the last 2 to 3 weeks, because you can see here on the peak, and that was on the December 5th on a Monday, where it basically hit 7.82 million and a high of $6.44, and it opened at $5.80 and a low of $5.71. So you can see that it was a major peak here. It was pretty good, and you can see like the cup here, kind of forming a cup here too. Then a handle. Then this one here looks like a really looks like a cup and handle. Then the handle part here, but it broke. Then we'll see if it'll come back up, but it did. On that day, on December 5th, we did see massive volume, and it hit the high of, the high of $5.81 from November 14th. So from here, November 14th, then, people saw that momentum and just kept on going up. But the next day it retracted, right? If if it was bullish, it would have been nice to see it stay green the next day, but we didn't see that. That's why you can see that major pullback in the upcoming days when that green day happened and the first red day after that. So it went 1, 2, 3, 4 red days. It hit the support, broke that, then now it just kept on going back to the support and resistance of, you can see here, $4.13, and here's 279, right? So we can see definitely it tried to hit that support resistance and then maintain it, then it just retracted down, and we didn't see a bounce back here. So that's why it went to a new support resistance. So what we're looking for in the next coming days or weeks is we want this one to go back up, hit this resistance, maintain that resistance, and if we can maintain that resistance and we hear good news, we might see pass it past the $5.48, then all the way to like $6.44 of the high of here. Because if we can pass this $6.44, then that would be amazing to see. Then we might see a new support resistance in here, right? And the 200-day moving average is looking really nice. It looks like it's gonna touch it again. So the 50-day moving average to the 100-day moving average, it looks like it's gonna touch. That's looking good, but we want to see the 200 moving average, which is the red one. If we can see that, touch the green one, that would be nice to see. But yeah, we'll just keep a close eye on that one. All right, so for ACB, kind of same scenario here, where it did peak on December, I believe. Yeah, it peaked on December 5th, kind of like the other ones, but it closed at red on that day. Then it retracted. Then what you can see here, the support and resistance, it hit that support, it broke at $1.50. Then after that, now you can see it go to another support and resistance here. And also, let's double check to see what people are saying for, I totally forgot, for weed. I don't think there was much. Green market, you can't count cannabis stocks out. Safe failure will send this at least to recent lows. In my opinion, let's hope it doesn't come to that. So people are pessimistic about it. And also for ACB, I don't think there was much news, was there? Aurora Grey Beard brand wins King Magazine Best Diamond of the Year. And it's the link for that. Okay, that's totally fine. But if I go to it going back, so majority of these big guys, they're forming kind of the same pattern. So if I go to Tilray, similar as well, where it did on, I believe on, so this one was the 5th as well, right? It hit a pretty pretty nice high of $6.90, guys. Holy crap, $6.90. Then the next day, on the 6th, it dropped and it was high of $6.37, low of $5.33, and close of $5.52. So it kind of, you can see the same kind of patterns of what's going on here. Then you can see the 50-day moving average hit the 100 moving day average. So right, you can see that. Then, but we'll see what happens. Luckily for Tilray, it didn't break the support resistance here at around $4, and I would say 46 cents, or even to be safe $4.40. It didn't break that. As long as it maintains that support, then we might see it just hover in the support resistance here and go from there, right? So for Tilray, I know that they had some pretty good news about some of their yeah, you can see a Riff Cannabis brand launches new series of limited edition strain in joint effort with craft growers. So you can see here, if you read this, basically Riff first rotation of the orbital and crossfade collection included, and this is all the products here, right? So yeah, if you want to read that, definitely check it out. But as we can see here, December, definitely a red month for the space, but we'll see what happens in January, right? If you can see it skyrocket and close in a January, February, then that would be good for the sector. But we definitely need news coming up, because if not, stocks is just going to keep going down and down. And going to, as per usual, I'm going to go show my portfolio here. You can see here that the unrealized gain or loss for this portfolio is 80.74%. Life is down 81.90 cents, and Rip Capital is down like 75.25%. So crazy, ridiculous, right? Definitely we need some news coming on in the sector, because if not, then yeah, it's just gonna keep going down and down. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Comment down below, send me a direct message, and until next time, take care.